Ask anyone over the age of 65 where they would most like in the world to retire, and I bet you one of the places would be New Zealand.
So it is for 2 years. I will immediately say that can be applied for as many times as you want to. So as long as you have the money available, as long as you continue to meet all other requirements of the visa, you can apply for these constantly. So you could spend 20 years in the country.
Today, we're going to talk to Charlotte from New Zealand Shores and find out how that might be possible by obtaining a visa, a temporary retirement visa, to come to New Zealand. So let's jump on in and find out if retirement in New Zealand is possible for you.
NZ Ahead, coming to you from Taranaki, New Zealand.
Charlotte, welcome back to the NZ Ahead podcast. We are thrilled to have you back here with us again.
Thank you so much for having me back. I love joining you guys. It's always a lot of fun.
Oh, this is part of the investment series that we're doing. And today we're going to be talking about the temporary retirement visa. I will have already said you're from NZ Shores, our favourite immigration advisors. And yeah, can you tell us what the temporary retirement visa is, please, Charlotte?
Yeah, so the temporary retirement visa is a type of visitor visa which Immigration New Zealand have for people who, as the name suggests, want to come and retire in New Zealand for a period of time. It is an investment-based visa, so you do have to have a certain level of income to be able to apply, but it does, unfortunately, it doesn't give you a incredibly long-term visa, but it will give you a 2-year visitor visa which allows you to live in the country, and that visitor visa can be applied for multiple times. So it's a good option if you've got the money and you want to come experience life down under for a little while.
Right. Okay, because we've done another video with you for the parent retirement category. So just to be clear, you don't need to have you don't have kids in the country. You're just coming over to retire, and you can only do it for 2 years. Is that right?
Correct. So you don't, this is different to a lot of our other parent categories or a lot of our categories for older people. This one is you don't have to have a child who is a New Zealand citizen or resident. Absolutely anybody can apply. So you can just decide, hey, I want to go spend some of my retirement in New Zealand, and this visa will allow you to do so. It is investment based though, so you do have to have money to be able to invest in New Zealand, and part of that is actually showing that you've got money to support yourself as well, because it doesn't allow you to work. So it is very much, hey, I'm retired and I just want to come hang out in a really cool part of the world for a little while.
All right, so that's the big thing. Come on. It's only for 2 years. So how much do we have to invest? Yeah.
So it is for 2 years. I will immediately say that can be applied for as many times as you want to. So as long as you have the money available, as long as you continue to meet all other requirements of the visa, you can apply for these constantly. So you could spend 20 years in the country. There's no limit. I'm just pulling 20 years out of thin air, but you can, keep applying for it multiple times. The money obviously is the big portion of this. So you do have to be able to prove that you have 750,000 New Zealand dollars to invest. Investments can go into, immigration has a list of what they deem an acceptable investment, but most our clients tend to look at things like government shares and bonds because they're safe. Yes, they're not going to return you a massive, massive income off that investment, but it is something Immigration New Zealand accept, and it's not high risk. So typically when we get to older people, they want to make sure that their money is going to be safe and they're not going to lose it. On top of the 750,000 investment funds, you have to be able to prove you've got 500,000 New Zealand dollars in settlement funds. Settlement funds can be used for anything. You can't purchase property though on this visa because it is a visitor visa, but the 500,000 could be used for renting a property, buying a car, whatever else you require really to set your life up while you're here. And then you do have to prove you also have a guaranteed annual income of 60,000 New Zealand dollars a year. So if there's 2 applicants to a visa, so 2 partners applying under this, that 60,000 can be spread across both of you. If it is a single applicant, you must be able to prove that you have that on your own. That can come from, it could be pensions, it could be rental properties, you may own a business which is generating income. You cannot use employment because this visa technically doesn't allow you to be employed in New Zealand. You are coming to retire, so you don't have to sell your business, but you cannot be an employee. So that's just a key little thing there. But often with a number of our clients, particularly from the UK and the US, pensions, particularly private pensions, are at that threshold or higher. So, and exchange rates work in your favour massively at the moment too.
Definitely.
Yeah, so is there a retirement age? Can you be like 40 if you wanted to be?
No, unfortunately not. So it is based off the retirement age, which we have in New Zealand, which at the moment is 65. So you do have to be 65 or older. So if you were smart and you managed to retire at 40 and you think you're retired, hats off to you. I'm incredibly jealous, but Immigration New Zealand unfortunately won't quite see it that way. So you do have to be 65 or older to apply for this.
Right.
And going back to the settlement funds, so 500,000, did you say that was?
Yes, correct. Yep, 500,000.
That's a lot of money, isn't it? To rent a property and feed yourself.
And not only that, so you've got 500,000 settlement and 60,000 a year. So
yeah,
you're just going to be flying money everywhere, aren't you?
And your 750,000 that you have to invest.
Who came up with that one?
So that 500,000, Charlotte, is that per year or is that for the 2 years?
It's just in total, so it's not per year. It's just I guess per visa. So if you did want to apply for this visa 10 times concurrently, at every stage you would have to show that you have your 750,000 invested or available to be invested, and you have 500,000 in settlement funds. Yeah. The 500,000 can remain offshore, so you could have that could stay in like some kind of investment account overseas, or that could be retained in the value of a property overseas. But you do have to show that, hey, I've got this thing, or I've got this account where I have the value of this money available to me if I need it.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose the fact that you can keep applying is the carrot, isn't it? Because, as long as you've got the money, you can, like you say, you can just keep applying. The other thing that I didn't realise, the penny has only just dropped here with me, is when you said you need to invest 750,000 in, so an investment. You do get money back off that investment, don't you? It's not something you give and then you never see again. You get money back off that.
Correct. Yep. And you can, so any return on investment you're able to keep. The only thing you can't do is if you have, I don't know, let's say you're 750,000 invested into 5 different types of government bonds. If one of those bonds or those shares or those investments matures, you have to reinvest the same threshold to make sure that you've got the 750,000 retained as an investment at all times. But any income which is generated off that is yours to spend. It's yours to do with as you please.
I'm looking forward to that little flutter.
I can't wait till I'm 65 and I've got 750,000 all of a sudden. I think, I know, let's go for a holiday.
I know what
it's
to do.
A funny one. Yeah. But like you say, in the current world climate, New Zealand's kind of tucked away from everything, and I would imagine there's a ton of people that think, you know what, I think I'll just go there.
What other requirements do you need, Charlotte? Is that everything, or is there anything else that you need, or language, or?
So no language, no English language tests. So it is a visitor visa. It's a temporary visa. So Immigration New Zealand aren't testing your English language threshold, which is great. You do have to hold private insurance. Again, because it is a visitor visa, you're not actually entitled to free healthcare in New Zealand. So you do have to hold insurance which covers you to an adequate amount that if you were to pass away, your remains must be able to be repatriated. You must, part of that insurance must be good cover for cancer care, and it must cover any emergency hospital care that you may need as well. So immigration are quite strict on that. They won't grant you the visa unless you can prove that you've taken that insurance out, and the older you get, the more expensive it gets as well. So that is definitely a factor to keep in mind. But I have had a couple of Americans in particular apply for this recently who actually told me, well, it's still cheaper to have like a travel insurance for while I'm in New Zealand than it is to pay insurance insurance in America. So for our Americans, it doesn't actually seem that bad. If you're coming from the UK or another country where you have nationalised healthcare that's free, it could be a bit of a shock. But we have got a number of companies we do work with who can assist with that type of insurance. So if you're getting a bit stuck, because it is quite hard to actually find insurance for older people, particularly travel insurance, even if you don't want to use our services for the visa, I'm more than happy for you to reach out and say, hey, what's that insurance company? And I can connect you. So that is one thing. So health, character and insurance really are the things that they're looking at. So it is a funny one on the health. You do have to submit an immigration medical, and you do still have to be of good standing with your health. I guess because we're the kind of country that won't turn you away. So, if you turn up at the hospital and you're sick and you need treatment, you're going to get it. So I guess it's just, another layer of making sure that, hey, actually this person's not going to turn up and expect treatment and then leave the country without paying for it, hence the insurance requirement.
And talking of like health related things, because we have ACC in New Zealand. So if you're on this visa, you would be covered by ACC. Is that correct?
Correct. You are covered by ACC. So everyone, for those of you listening who don't know what ACC is, it stands for Accident Compensation Corporation. So ACC is amazing. I am a big user of ACC as someone who runs far too much. They will cover you for any accident. So if you are out gardening, or if you're out mountain biking, or if you fall off a ladder because you're trying to paint something, anything that's accident related is covered by the New Zealand government, but ACC doesn't cover anything health related. So if you have a heart attack and you have to go to hospital, that's medical, that's not an accident. So they will, you're expected to pay for that healthcare. But yeah, ACC, you're covered for anyone, actually, even if you're coming in on an NZETA, so you're coming in on holiday, part of the visa cost for you actually covers your accident corporation levy. So which is really cool, actually.
Which is good. And again, as long as it's not an existing condition, like I've got a ripped shoulder joint and I just happened to rip it again in New Zealand.
They will, ACC are very good at excluding anything they think is a pre-existing condition. So anything that's degeneration related or age related, like you say, or hey, I've done this before and something that's happened again, they will probably not cover you. But if it's a genuine accident, I tripped over, I fell off a ladder, I fell off my bike, didn't look and got hit by a bus, I don't know, anything that's actually an accident, they will cover.
Yeah.
So Charlotte, going back to you can't get residency, so you can't get free healthcare. You can get ACC, but you're going to have your own health insurance. What about if I've been doing this now I've done it 7 times. I've been over here 14 years now in New Zealand, and I'm desperate to buy my own home. I don't need a mortgage. I've got the money to buy it outright. Can I buy a house?
You are here because you love New Zealand.
You might be moving to New Zealand,
living in New Zealand,
Or you might just spend your days dreaming of visiting this gorgeous country.
because we love New Zealand as much as you do. We have compiled a short and very unique
5-day video series showcasing life in New Zealand, what it's really like. These videos are real, they are exclusive, and best of all, they're absolutely free. So if you would like to view New Zealand from the inside out and find out what life is really like down here, sign up now, and every day for 5 days we will send you a personal 3-minute video showcasing some brilliant aspect of life in New Zealand. You are gonna love it. Go to
nzahead.com/free.
We can't wait to share those videos with you. Okay, let's get back on with the show.
Potentially. So this is a little bit outside my wheelhouse and would typically be dealt with more by like a property lawyer, but there is a process you can go through with the Overseas Investment Office, and someone can do this at any point. So there isn't actually a threshold of to how long you have to have been in New Zealand to apply through the Overseas Investment Office, but they can actually approve you to purchase property without holding a resident visa. I don't know a massive amount about that would probably be another really good episode for you guys, where potentially we try and find a lawyer who can talk about that. But not my wheelhouse, unfortunately. I know it's possible, and I have had some clients go through that overseas investment office process before they've been deemed what we call ordinarily resident to purchase a home, but I've never had anyone on a visitor visa go through that process. But New Zealand citizens or residents, Australian citizens or residents, and actually Singaporean citizens and residents can purchase property in New Zealand. So we have a little bit of flexibility there. But I couldn't tell you how expensive the overseas investment office process is. I don't know how long it takes. I just know it's there.
Thank you for answering that. And
good.
I always appreciate the fact that when you don't know, when it's not 100% your field, you put your hand up and say, do you know what, I could hand this over to someone who does know. I always appreciate that in you. You're very, very genuine and very transparent. So thank you very much. That's why we love you so much.
I don't want to try and answer questions wrong. So
No.
it's always safer to say someone else will be your expert in that space. But any property lawyer in New Zealand would be able to guide you through that process for sure.
Yeah.
So who is this for then? Who would you guide towards this visa?
Anyone who doesn't have a child who lives in New Zealand and wants to come and spend a period of time. Those are probably one of our biggest cohorts, particularly at the moment. Like you say, there's a lot going on in the world at the moment, and New Zealand is kind of very tucked away. And we're not even on half of the world maps, you see. So I'm not even sure we exist sometimes. But if you're looking to, I guess, get away from, the craziness that's happening and you want to be at the bottom of the world for a while, it's a really good option. The other time that we utilize this, not so much now because we are seeing a lot of our parent categories process quite quickly, but sometimes if we have clients who we know where they have children in New Zealand and they are applying under one of our parent-based options, and that visa is going to take a while to process, sometimes we use this as an intermediary option to get them here in the country while there are other resident visa processes. So if you've listened to our video that we've just done with you guys on the parent retirement category, sometimes this can tie in quite well with that if we know there's going to be hiccups that cause that to take potentially a year to process. We might say, okay, well, you've already got the money, so let's also apply under this category, because this visa processes in, on average, about 12 to 14 weeks, so it is very quick. So we know that that's going to process quickly. We could get you into the country while a separate residency visa processes, or you may not quite have the threshold of funds for the parent retirement category, but you can meet this category. So we use this as an option to get you into the country while we explore other visas. So the key is, though, that this visa in itself doesn't lead to a resident visa. So even if you did spend 20 years here on this visa, Immigration New Zealand aren't going to grant you residence or the option to apply for residence unless you qualify under another separate category.
Okay. Is there anything we haven't asked you that we haven't covered that you want people to know about?
I don't think so. The main questions we always get asked is, how much money do I have, which we've covered. And the other big question is, does this lead to residence? That's obviously the big one that people are always concerned about. But look, we're always happy to have a conversation with people and map out what the different options are. Can we use this as an option until you can get residence? Are you eligible under a different type of category? Are you eligible for an age waiver under a different type of category, which we also have a video on with you guys. So go listen to that as well. So we can piece together options to try and make it work potentially. It's just about figuring out what those options look like.
And I think that's really important for people listening or watching this, because quite a few of you will reach out and say, look, I can't get this, I'm not on the green list or something, I'm not the right age, or you have got options. You really do have options. And so please do reach out to Charlotte or one of her team at NZ Shores and because you offer, well, you tell me about that. What is the quiz thing that you have at the beginning of on your website there?
Yeah, absolutely. So anyone who is listening to this and is potentially interested in investment type options, skip going through the eligibility assessment on our website, because that's largely geared towards people who want to come and work or study in New Zealand. The best option, because these are slightly more complex visa categories, is to reach out to me directly. So my email is charlotte@nzshores.com. We have several advisors in our office who specialise in these investment visas, and we can match you up accordingly with who is going to be the best person to guide you through that particular option. But yeah, please reach out directly rather than submitting a form on our website, just because we can jump on it a lot faster and make sure that you're being assessed correctly under the categories and the information you want, rather than being led down a different pathway for a skilled migrant visa.
That's perfect.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll put all the links in the description below. And don't forget to say that you found Charlotte on the NZ Ahead podcast. So she knows to
please
give you special love and extra lovely treatment.
Absolutely, and we do. And anyone who does come through the podcast or your community, we offer free eligibility assessments to people and a free Zoom consult with a licensed advisor as well. So please do mention that that's how you found us.
Yes. And for those listening who don't know that Charlotte is part of our NZ Ahead Slack community, she's over there on Slack with us and the family, and she's got her own channel, and it is absolutely valuable information over there. So again, that's another way to know that you're going to have Charlotte or one of her team, let's say, on hand. So thank you for being part of that community as well, Charlotte. We really value you there.
Thank you for having us. I love helping. I love being part of it. I love seeing all the success stories and all the hurdles that people overcome. So it's a very special place to be.
It really is.
Yeah,
it really
yeah.
is.
And I'm looking forward to our next video, because it's not that because you're not on it, but it's like we're going to be doing 2 more videos with NZ Shores shortly with Fred.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to having
as part
Fred
of the investment
as well.
series. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you'll get to meet my superstar colleague, Frederick. He's a migrant himself. He migrated to New Zealand when he was about 12. He might correct me on that.
I think it was 2001.
Oh, there you go. So, yeah, he's awesome. So he will be talking about our Active Investor Plus visa and our Business Investment visa. He's really, really knowledgeable in that space. So watch out for that.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Watch out for that one. Well, Charlotte, thank you so much for joining us. Like I say, we will put the links in the description below. Thank you for just being a wealth of information for everyone out there and keeping everyone's dreams alive by thinking, do you know what? I can do it. There is going to be a way, or, there's options. So thank you. Thank you to you for that.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Okay, we'll speak to you
Thanks,
soon.
Charlotte. You take care.
Right.
See you on the next.
Thanks, team.
See you soon.
Okay, bye.
See you soon. Bye.
If you're migrating to New Zealand, you will know that Immigration New Zealand are always changing their rules. And this year is no different. We have got some really exciting news about the skilled migrant category and the changes expected in 2026.
People, particularly in those trades and technician roles, from being able to apply for residence. So there was this massive gap that we've had for about the last 3 years where people weren't eligible under the straight to residence or the work to residence categories.
So let's sit back and chat with Charlotte, our favourite immigration advisor from NZ Shores, and find out what those changes are.